Hi, my name is Bear, and let's start with Endless Space 2. Your story unfolds in a galaxy that was first colonized by godlike beings known as the Endless, who rose and fell eons ago. All that remains of them are mystical ruins, powerful artifacts, and a strange, near-magical substance known as dust. Nobody knows the origin of the dust, but I think it's the dried-out leftovers of potato salad once made by these godlike beings, so instead of eating you have to snort it. Anyway, here you'll explore distant star systems, discover the secrets of ancient races, build colonies on distant planets, manage trade routes, and develop advanced technologies of unthinkable power. Also encounter new life forms, which you will befriend, go to war against, or just cynically exploit. Or you'll be exploited. You never know what hides deep in the void. You know, the universe is endless, but still somehow smaller than your mama. Book of Demons. It is a surprisingly good game, ignored by many just because of how it looks. It has great lighting effects, but those paper figures are definitely not for everyone. Anyway, here you can decide the length of the quests, wield magic arts instead of weapons, and slay armies of darkness in the dungeon below the old cathedral. Yeah, I bet you heard that somewhere. People on Steam are talking that Book of Demons has great replayability with a variety of combinations, interesting art direction, and fast, non-boring gameplay. Although some are saying that the game can become a bit monotonous, but I'm pretty sure that it can happen because of the skills and spells you use. If your build is not fun enough, you will get not enough fun. Simple, right? So Google some nice builds before you play. Let there be a bit of Book of Demons among big-boobed MILFs in your search history. Anyway, the game has 91% of positive reviews and it's kinda cheap. The Beast Inside. Here you'll play as a CIA employee, Adam, who leaves a huge city and moves to the countryside with his wife. All you need is to work in peace and silence on some secret military code that could change the outcome of the Cold War, so the countryside looks like a perfect choice. And as it turns out, absolutely unexpectedly, this area is quite opposite of a peaceful place. The game is basically a walking simulator, but in most dangerous situations you will be able to use your gun and shoot your way out. That is the worst part psychologically. You know, when you are in an ominous environment and suddenly the game gives you a gun, you don't feel safer somehow, quite the opposite. The price is great, so if you like spooky walking sims, it's a must-get, I think. Valfaris. Your metal detector should be beeping like hell right now, because Valfaris is an amazing platformer game with a true metal soul. Reviews are very positive, so no catch. Here you can buy this game even without a discount and you will be satisfied with what you get. And you get metal and a game 2 in 1, you know, like shampoo and conditioner or you and your virginity. If you like Valfaris, you can check out the game named Slain as well, made by the same developers. It also has a metal soul but slightly worse review score. People on Steam are talking that Valfaris is what they expected the new modern Contra game to be. Pure sci-fi power fantasy with an incredibly good soundtrack and game atmosphere. Green Hell. Game feels like Wrath, The Forest, and Far Cry Primal had a baby, and very positive reviews are saying to us that this baby is not ugly and you shouldn't give up it for adoption. This time. Here you are left alone in a jungle without any food or equipment, trying to survive and find your way out. Clinging to life, you have to go on a journey of durability, as the effects of solitude weigh heavy not only on your body but also on the mind. How long can you survive against the dangers of the unknown? Knowing you, probably not very long. You know, me as well, when I watch survival shows, especially the one called Alone, I'm always thinking that I would never give up and I would win the money no matter what, not like these other people. But the truth is, I would probably slip on some snail and die on the third day. Or, you know, I probably would be attacked and eaten by a bunch of these, which is a terrible fate. So here, constantly threatened by the jungle, you'll fight with both wild animals and tropical illnesses. You will also have to face the traps set by your own mind and fears that crawl out of the darkness of the endless jungle. Enjoy the game alone or with friends. Dawn of Man. This is a nice city-building game where you control some ancient people, hunt mighty mammoths, gather various herbs, and build Stonehenges. Although, what is the meaning of them? The game also has great AI. Not as great as a Skynet, but that is nice, because Dawn of Man will fail if it tries to conquer the real world. Although we never know what simple AI is plotting against us. We will never know until it's too late. The biggest flaw of the game, in my opinion, is the game's color palette. Boring greenish-brownish tones everywhere can be really hard to the eye, and the game itself is focused on survival and not war, so keep that in mind if you like to wage battles. Of course, there are some war elements. You have to defend your settlements from various raider scum, but that's almost it. Leaving Lyndow. Another walking simulator gem from creators of Eastshade. Well, the predecessor, to be fair, with a more than affordable price. But this price has a catch: you will beat it in less than an hour. Leaving Lyndow is a peaceful experience with a detailed environment to explore at your own pace. The game is set in the first person, so the immersion is really here. People on Steam are saying that this is a great tasting experience before you play the Eastshade, which is, by the way, about 14 times bigger game. If you like Leaving Lyndow, then Eastshade will be like a major meal for you. The game has a very positive review score, beautiful graphics and great atmosphere. Try it out. Manifold Garden. The game looks like a creation of AI, where you prompted it to create something 3D, geometrical and physics-based. But this game is not just beautiful gibberish, it's an actual game with an expansive and visually striking world filled with mind-bending puzzles. Here you'll have to manipulate gravity to gain new perspectives and walk on any visible surface. You will explore structures that repeat infinitely, and also play with photo mode and make some beautiful art for your office. I'm not kidding, your boss, if he's not a gamer, will approve this quite easily, and if he is a gamer, that will be even easier. It seems that the game was made mostly by one man, and that is a huge achievement. People on Steam are saying that you don't need drugs to feel like you are on drugs while playing this game. Also, it's very satisfying to watch all these structures unfold in front of you, or should I say unmanifold in front of you. Hand of Fate 2. This is a dungeon crawler set in a dark fantasy world. Here you'll try to master a living board game, where every stage of the adventure is drawn from a deck of legendary encounters chosen by you. So choose wisely your opponent. The enigmatic dealer will try to make you feel helpless and pathetic. People on Steam are saying that the combat is a bit clunky, but the atmosphere, art style and the narration of the game makes Hand of Fate really enjoyable and fun. Although keep in mind that the game is kinda difficult, also heavily based on luck. You know, it's a card game after all. And that may be frustrating if you have an unlucky day when everything falls apart. So before playing, throw a coin into the air 3 times and try to guess heads or tails. If you'll be correct at least 2 times, play the game. Luck is with you today.
And what if this was the last drop of luck? What if guessing heads or tails right was the luckiest thing that happened today?
Well, in this instance, I'll think you'll know that you are screwed right away. Game is not forgiving. The Wolf Among Us. This is a gritty, violent and mature thriller based on the award-winning Fables comic books. You'll discover that a brutal, bloody murder is just a beginning where every decision can have enormous consequences. And it's not only what you choose to do will affect your story, but when you choose to do it as well. You don't need to know anything about the comics this game is based on, because events in this story are set before the events seen in the first book. And this game gives you an option to beat up practically anyone you don't like. Sadly, you can't import that energy-sucking coworker of yours in this game, but hey, you can beat him up in real life instead. I mean, if you are stronger than him. If not, just smile and blame your genes. UnderMine. This is an action-adventure roguelike that blends combat and dungeon crawling with RPG-like progression. Mine gold, die, upgrade yourself, and then try again. Discover hundreds of items including relics, potions, blessings and curses that all stack for a new experience every run. Challenge dangerous bosses and rescue helpful characters that provide new upgrades for your adventure. Also decipher the cryptic messages of the UnderMine's residents and unfold the mystery at the heart of the dungeon. People on Steam are saying that the game reminds them of one thing, like someone took the mines from Stardew Valley, upgraded them heavily and made them into a game. UnderMine has about 90% of positive reviews, but some people complain that it is unbalanced and can infuriate you. But hey, you play these games and hope to die just to be reborn stronger again. SteamWorld Dig 2. Game takes you on a mining adventure forged in Metroidvania flames. When an old trading town is struck by mysterious earthquakes, it's up to you, a lone steambot, along with your unlikely companion, to uncover what trembling terrors lies beneath. And you know what you will uncover deep below?
Your fat mama snoring.
Oh come on, no, it's a secret and you will have to discover it by yourself. So you will dig your way underground and explore vivid worlds riddled with treasure, secrets and deadly traps. Fight dangerous enemies at every turn of the underworld, including shadowy creatures and the haunted remains of an ancient electrical threat. Well, this game is obviously story-rich, and that is awesome. Endless Legend. Here you will evolve your civilization through discovery and new advanced technologies. You will keep one step ahead of the other 8 civilizations by trade and diplomacy, or eradicate your puny enemies with the help of unit equipment, abilities and the terrain to overcome the challenges using your humongous IQ. The game has quite high replayability because of randomly generated worlds and quests. You can set the size, shape and topography of your new world and even create new civilizations. Also, all existing ones really differ from one another and have authentic mechanics. By the way, Endless Legend is not computer power hungry, it runs quite smoothly even if you have a potato PC that is below minimum requirements. People on Steam are saying that Endless Legend is a wonderful game with a great atmosphere, lore and mechanics, but it also eats your time in huge amounts, so be sure you have it. So to spice up your curiosity, I will tell you that here you can kill with your thoughts. That should really grab your attention. If it grabs somewhere else, call the police. Inkulinati is an ink-based strategy game straight from medieval manuscripts, where a thought can be deadlier than a sword. You will take your turn in Inkulinati duels filled with unexpected tactical depth and humor.
Yeah, fart humor, very funny, haha.
Shut up, that is always funny. You'll embark on an ever-changing journey, build your own bestiary, defeat medieval superstars and collect perks to unleash special powers. And now it's the time when you must subscribe. It's the law, I have nothing to do with that. The penalty of not subscribing to my channel is a ban from Boobhala after you die. It's terrible, I know, so I guess you have to subscribe. Hellpoint. This is a dark action RPG set in a heavily atmospheric sci-fi universe where the line between science and occultism is blurred. Once a pinnacle of human achievement, the Irid Novo space station has fallen. Its ruins are now overrun by cruel, interdimensional entities acting as puppets of the malevolent cosmic gods. That sounds very Lovecraftian, and cosmic horror is one of my favorite things, along with boobs and potato salad. People are talking that this game is a hybrid between Dark Souls and Dead Space. But I played it and it's literally just another Dark Souls game. Yeah, it's in space, but you know, whatever. Actually, if you want, you can play one chapter for free. You can find Hellpoint the Thespian Feast on Steam. The game itself has around 80% of positive reviews, so it's an okay game. Nothing fancy about it, but you can enjoy it for a few hours if you are a fan of Souls-like mechanics. Also, a controller is a must. Graveyard Keeper. Here you can make candles from human fat, burn witches, and even sell mystery meat to the local tavern. Well, you and I, we both know that this is human flesh from corpses, but nobody else has to know, right? That is not a question, by the way. You know, you wouldn't want to visit a local tavern as a special guest. You know, I like you. Anyway, Graveyard Keeper is the most accurate medieval cemetery management sim of all time, because obviously there are no other medieval cemetery management games. You'll build and manage your own graveyard and expand into other ventures, while finding shortcuts to cut the costs. Use all the resources you can find. After all, this game is about the spirit of capitalism and doing whatever it takes to build a thriving business. If you have guts, try this game. If not, you can always harvest some from a fresh dead body. MOTHERGUNSHIP. The game mixes bullet hell intensity with the FPS genre, and according to developers brings one of the largest gun customization options seen in video games. It's up to you to equip your over-the-top arsenal and defeat a robotic alien armada that has conquered the Earth. Yeah, as always, you'll have to show aliens who's the real boss here. And that's you, my friend. You are an awesome and very beautiful person. Anyway, here you'll craft gun monstrosities that no reasonable person could ever lift, fight gigantic bosses, and experience randomized mayhem as you battle your way to the heart of the fleet. This game is great to play alone, but if you want to release your anger on aliens as a co-op team with your friend, yeah, the game forces you to sign in with Epic Launcher, which is a sad thing and brings down the review score of the game big time. Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. A broken Celtic warrior embarks on a haunting vision quest into the Viking hell to fight for the soul of her dead lover. Well, at least she thinks it is happening that way. The game is created in collaboration with neuroscientists and people who experience psychosis. Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice will pull you deep into a Senua's mind, and that mind is a crazy one, so the game is a pure mindfuck. You will never know what is real and what is not. The one fact you will know for sure is that this is a beautiful game. Graphics are almost photorealistic, so if you are a sucker for an eye candy, this game definitely delivers that. Shadow Tactics: Blades of the Shogun. This is a hardcore tactical stealth game set in medieval Japan around the Edo period. You will take control of a team of deadly specialists and sneak into the shadows between dozens of enemies. Choose your approach when infiltrating mighty castles, snowy mountain monasteries, and hidden forest camps. Set traps, poison your opponents, or completely avoid enemy contact. Game has an overwhelmingly positive review score, meaning that for this price it is a masterpiece. Although keep in mind that the game sometimes may prove to be insanely difficult and some missions are beyond hard to crack. So be sure that you have not forgotten how to use that tiny, not very important organ between your ears, because you will need it more than ever. People on Steam are talking that if you like classic Commandos or Desperado 3 for example, this game for sure is your spoon of potato salad. Darkwood. If you could imagine a Lovecraftian forest with all the horrors in it, Darkwood checks all the marks. It is heavily inspired by, for example, Color Out of Space, and even has some Easter eggs in this field. When I played it, I felt that creators probably took a lot of inspiration from Stephen King as well, who is himself a fan of Lovecraft, and you can feel the influence in many of his novels, starting from madness-infusing Shining to the horrors of the unknown in The Mist. So the Darkwood makes you feel that you are trying to survive in one of these stories. Creepy monsters, inhabitants, and ever-changing woods surround your every step. By day you collect resources and explore the area, but by night you must barricade yourself in a safe place because various beasts of horror will try to make you, less alive. So every night is a battle for survival, and every day is another chance to make your fortress stronger. Story is great, the gameplay is great, and the game is simply a must-play. Cult of the Lamb. More than 90% of a positive review score is not something you may easily ignore. You may ignore your coworkers, you may ignore that nasty pimple on your nose, you may even ignore the fact that you earn the same amount of money as in the last year and the inflation is making you poor, but you can't ignore potato salad, boobies, and Cult of a Lamb. Because here you will be thrown into the role of a possessed lamb and must start your own cult in a land of false prophets. You will venture out into diverse and mysterious regions to build a loyal community of fanatical followers and spread your word to become the one true cult. Also, you will have to destroy the non-believers and defeat rival cult leaders to absorb their power and potato salad. People on Steam are saying that this game is unbelievably fun, has great art style, and is really addictive, just like a real cult. Also keep in mind that Humble Bundle Winter Sale is happening right now. More than 4,000 titles are discounted. You will find my affiliate link to this awesome Steam game sale in the description and in the first pinned comment below. Thank you for watching, have a nice day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.